So Chapter 3, Section 6 is called Lines in the Coordinate Plane. And we're going to go over two formulas. The first formula is called the Slope-Intercept Form. Slope-Intercept Form. A bunch of you tried to give me this yesterday when I was trying to get you to give me the slope formula. So the slope formula starts with m equals, and we'll get into that in a minute. But the slope-intercept form starts with y equals. There you go. Y equals mx plus b. And it's called the slope-intercept form because you plug those two things in. You plug in the slope. It goes right here for m. And you plug in the intercept. It goes right here for b. So the two things that you plug in are in its name, the slope and the intercept. The other two variables, the y and the x, stay in the equation with the equal sign, okay? The next form we're going to look at is called point slope form. Most people learn the point slope form first, and then once they learn slope intercept, they kind of forget about the point slope form because slope intercept form is a little more useful. All right, so point slope form looks like this. It's y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. You end up with the same variables left over as you do with slope-intercept form, but you actually plug in almost the same thing. That m is still the slope. So you're going to be given the slope and any random point. On this one, you're given the intercept. So that's where it crosses the y-axis. This one can cross anywhere, okay? You can be given any point in the form of x1, y1, any two numbers right here. And they go in right here for x1 and right here for y1. Leaving the only two variables left, this x and this y, along with that equal sign. So it ends up looking almost like the slope-intercept form, but not quite. Okay? So for example number 1, we're going to use that point-slope form. We're just going to finish it off in our slope-intercept form. It's just a couple easy steps to get it there. So you need two pieces of information. You need the slope and you need a point. So the first thing I'm going to give you is point A. Point A is at 3, -4. The other thing you need is a slope. So the slope is 6, or you can write it as the fraction 6/1. All right, so you're going to take these three numbers and you're going to plug it into this form that I just gave you. You're going to start with y minus the y1. So here's your x1 and your y1. So y1 is -4. Then the formula has the equal sign, then it has m for the slope. So the slope is 6/1, or we can just simplify it to 6. Just depends on the problem. Then another set of, a set of parentheses, and x minus our x1 value, which is 3. So if they ask for an equation in point-slope form, this is the answer, and you can stop here. Okay, but if they ask for it in slope-intercept form, you're going to have to simplify, which is what we're going to do. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is a pre-algebra thing, right? You've got this minus a negative, so change it to adding a positive, and you've got some distributing to do on the right. Okay, so y plus 4 on the left, and then 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times -3 is -18. And then to get it in slope-intercept form, we want the y by itself, right? So right now, 4 is being added. What's the inverse operation of adding 4? Subtraction, subtracting 4, right? So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. That leaves us with y on the left. And 6x, negative 18 minus 4 more, you end up at negative 22. Okay? So now it's in slope-intercept form, and it's ready to graph. You can even put a 1 in the denominator of that 6 if you want. All right, any questions on example number 1? All right, example number 2 is almost the same. We want to end in slope-intercept form. But instead of being given a point and a slope, this time I'm going to give you 2 points. So the first point B is going to be at negative 1, 0, and the second point C is going to be at 1, 2. Okay. You look back up at the top, both of these forms call for a slope. If you're just given 2 points, do you have a slope? No, but can you get one? Yes, from the formula we learned yesterday, which starts with m equals, right? M equals what? Oh, it's been a long time since yesterday, apparently.
M equals y1.
Y2.
Oh, y2 minus y1.
Yes.
Over x2 minus x.
Yes. All right, so you're going to take the 4 numbers from these 2 points. So here's your x1 and your y1. Here's your x2 and your y2. And you want to make sure you plug them into the correct spot. So you're going to have 2 minus 0 in the numerator. And then you're going to have 1 minus negative 1 in the denominator. And then you just need to treat it like a pre-algebra problem. 2 minus 0 is 2. And then change this to plus plus. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So you have 2 over 2, which is 1. So your slope is what? Okay. It's 1. 2 over 2 and simplifies to 1. Yes. Okay. So you can take. Okay. Can you put your headphones away, please, and your cell phone? Thank you. So you're going to take your slope and one of the points and plug it into the point slope form, or you can solve for B, which is what I'm going to show you because I already showed you the other form in example 1. So you get a little bit of each. Okay? So we're going to start with the equation y equals mx plus b. We just solved for m. M is 1. So underneath the m, we're going to write 1. Then we're going to plug in a point for x and y. You can use B or you can use C. I like C better, so I'm going to put a little star next to it so I know which one I use. I'm going to use the 2 for y and the 1 for x. And the only variable left is B. Okay? So we're going to solve for B. 1 times 1 is 1. So we have 1 plus b equals 2. So if we subtract 1, we get b equals 1 as well. So if our m is 1 and our b is 1, when we go to plug it back into our slope-intercept form, we get y equals 1x plus 1. And that's in slope-intercept form.